what's fucking good in the hood, my children? That was a rhetorical question, cause nothing is good in the hood. It's all struggle, my brother. All struggle. You are tuning in once again to the one, the only Weeaboo Corner. Can I get a sound effect right there, please? Say, Well, okay. Today's one of those. It's another one of those episodes because we're going to be talking about all that goodness about our favourite series as of yet, the Monogatari series. We're going to conclude the second season with Onimonogatari and Koimonogatari, and then we're going to move promptly onto the second secret arc following that one. Not second, just a secret arc following that one, Hanamonogatari. As y'all know, this series is in another league of its own, so I'm not going to be rating these individually, rather than giving my own opinions on each arc and my personal feelings on how the arcs made me feel and all that goodness. Following this information, I will also have to inform you real fast that I will be spoiling some parts of the series, so I would highly recommend watching them beforehand. However, most of what I'm spoiling are either in the arc description, on Mal, or on the Monogatari wiki page, so it's open information. Without further ado, let's fire away. But before we fire away, I just want to point out really quickly, my mistake. I fucking called the shit Onimonogatari when it is actually Onimonogatari, as in like the demon tale. That was it. I'm probably going to say Onimonogatari because I'm recording this post-recording, and there's honestly no way in fuck that I'm going to straight up record the entire, 7-minute rant. Not rant, but Anyway, Onimonogatari, not Onimonogatari. Remember that when I make my vast amount of mistakes this podcast. Anyway, thank you. Onimonogatari takes place immediately after Kabuki Monogatari, to which Araragi and Hachikuji start running into this borderline immortal void of darkness that won't stop chasing them for unknown reasons. The only answer to this unanswerable question, and the solution to their problem, is hidden in Shinobu's memories of the past, and the help of a literal genius know-it-all guide Izuko. Unfortunately, the way this ends is with Hachikuji being forced to abandon her role as the lost snail and leaving the living world behind forever. So already, Nisiosin fucking blows me away with his absolute fucking stellar storytelling, starting off with an Araragi narrative using Ononoki as a medium and escaping the immortal void. The team dips and Araragi makes out with a literal corpse, and the series moves smoothly onto a brilliantly played tale told from the perspective of Shinobu, with the main goal being to gain some sort of an understanding of this dark void. The story told by Shinobu is a super melancholic one. It's kind of selfless and selfish at the same time, and tells a tale of 400 years ago. Kithshot Acerola Orion Heart Underblade travels the world after being bored of living in non-existence in Antarctica, looking at the northern lights, and she meteor leaps, such as Ononoki's unlimited rulebook. She meteor leaps from Antarctica to Japan. However, her meteor leap just so happened to her being her slamming directly into a lake, which just so happened to be directly next to a village, which just so happened to be suffering from droughts. Droughts that had left the land completely dry and infertile. The meteor smash had obliterated the lake and made every drop of water inside fly into the air and fall as rain onto the surrounding villages that were suffering, and the villages, in return, like normal people, start to revere her as a god, showering her with gifts and riches. Kithshot lives like a god for a vast amount of time, until she meets her first servant. The first man she ever turned into a vampire prior to Araragi. The man, a vampire slayer, who wields Kithshot's present sword, the Aberration Slayer. After some time spent as a god, Kithshot realizes that some of the neighbouring villages had been left obliterated, with nothing left in its place. Upon further investigation, we're to quickly find out that it's the immortal void of darkness. Attempting to fight off the void, this man, wielding the Aberration Slayer, gets fucking roasted. He gets murked. It's not even a competition. I'm sorry, easily. Unfortunately, with only his hand and his wrist left behind, Kissshot takes the man's hand, whose name remains completely forgotten to me, and also her, apparently. And she, she just goes all the way to Antarctica with her vampire meteor leap smash and her unfortunate realization that she is alone with just a hand. She bites the hand, and her vampiric essence fills him, turning his single hand into a vampire and healing his entire body all at once. Realizing that he is the very thing that he was destined to kill, he commits suicide, almost immediately by walking clear into the sunlight. Kissshot being forced to watch as he does so. His death creates the very sword that Kissshot wields in the present day. Because Kissshot was no longer seen as a vampire and was being revered as a god, the Void was summoned to create a balance in which she was forced to return to her vampiric ways. The Void was summoned to Araragi's place because Hachikuji was no longer lost. She knew exactly where she was. And that's about a rough summary of it. Rough? Did I say it was gonna be rough? I lied the entire time. This was actually my favourite part of the series, creating this brilliantly drawn storyboard of Kissshot's story 400 years ago, basically doing what the Monogatari series does best. Tell, don't show, but kinda show, because there were somewhat very well drawn out storyboards to depict what the woman is trying to say. Following this, we get this astounding sequence of escaping the Void and getting in touch with Gaien, directly followed by wacky hijinks with Hachikuji. But the main thing about the series is the real fucking bellyacher is that Hachikuji has to leave forever, off screen. Probably the worst part about it is that it's off screen, and that we have no idea what the hell happens after that. The OP of this is fucking insane, with this dark, chanty piano ballad that's basically like 8 words, but goddamn does it actually slap. So with that, I'm gonna hit a quick F for respect for our girl Hachikuji. You weren't the best girl, but in another world where Kissshot destroys the entire world and you're hella older and kinda thick, you might be. So with that, let's move swiftly on. Koimonogatari begins with an unfamiliar narrative, coming full circle in the Onimonogatari arc, following the events of Sengoku Nadeko swallowing the snake talisman, becoming the snake god, killing Araragi multiple times, and making a deal with Senjo Gohara not to kill Araragi until they graduate 6 months from then. In that order, Kaiki Deishu finally takes the stage. Now, this isn't your normal narrative. No. This narrative is filled with contradictions, ramblings of a madman, and full clarifications on things we misjudged in the past. From the very beginnings of the story, we're told the main thing: to trust no one. Kaiki is summoned by a particular someone over the phone, lying the whole way through the call about who he is and where he is to someone who is lying the whole way through as well. Because of this, both participants hitch a plane to their meeting spot, where we find a very familiar someone, a girl who looks suspiciously like Senjo Gohara, but obviously isn't, because Senjo Gohara would never wear funny mustache glasses, going by the name Sensho Gohara, which is clearly not the same name. She pleads with him to stop God Nadeko before she actually kills Araragi and Senjo Gohara, and possibly everyone they love. The story isn't in the hands of Oshino Meme nor Gaien Izuku, it's finally in the hands of best girl Kaiki Deshu, as he lies and cheats his way through life itself as a pure con man through and through. We follow this haunting and hypnotizing tale about how Kaiki saves the day once again, cause what else can a con man do? Man has to con somehow. Who's he gonna con this time? Literally fucking God. So, quicker summary this time, huh? Yeah. I don't need that kind of attitude from a fucking weeb, okay? Am I gonna say it again? I think I'm gonna say it again. The OP slaps. It does. I'm sorry, it does. The OP bangs. It's major levels of gnarly, so much so that I fucking bump that shit on a regular. I hear that in my dreams. I see visuals in my soul. On top of that, even contrary to what I said in the last one, I think this one is actually my favourite part. Kaiki adds a brilliant realism to the story due to this lack of mysticism in the story. We get a lot more honest and wholesome moments despite the unpleasant moments we've had through the narrative of Araragi. The narration of Kaiki makes it so clear that he doesn't always try to con everyone and anyone, but some people come expecting a handout or some way to win, and the man straight up teaches them a lesson in such, as they have to suffer when they want to cheat their way through life and must walk forward on their own 2 feet. This way of thinking much more or less pushes Kaiki to doing the right thing for himself or even the people he appreciates the most, which is very apparent in the way he fights to get to the bottom of the god Nadeko mystery, with the main goal being to keep Kanbaru Surga safe, because if Nadeko destroys the entire town and kills everyone, he would have broken his promise to Kanbaru's mother to protect her daughter. We find out that Kaiki is actually in love with Kanbaru's mother prior to the series, pushing him closer and closer to wanting to keep her safe, so much so that he was willing to wait for God knows how long outside her house in Monogatari. Koimonogatari answers a lot of the initial questions I had about Kaiki, whilst also answering the only question I had about Nadeko, alongside why is she such a crazy bitch, because that's where the story's real problem comes from in the first place. Overall, oh god, I actually ramble. Overall, I was really happy with how this season went. The whole season, just the entire season, the arcs were all very organized in a way that didn't seem overwhelming in episodes or confusing in order. Every arc had a different way of narration, if not art style or even theatrical style, giving us a different feel and atmosphere every single arc we experience. I feel satisfied. What was my favourite part of the series? Probably my favourite part of the season was, oh god, you know, yeah, controversially, I'd say probably my favourite part was Nekomonogatari White. I fucking loved it, man. It was so good. Actually, was it White? Actually, yes. No, damn it. It was... It was one of them, but I fucking loved it, man. The one where Tsubasa has the Tsubasa tiger one, so good. Actually, in that, I think I might be Nissan. Fuck it. Let's move on. Let's move on. So, let's quickly talk about probably the best part of the second season. That wasn't even part of the second season. Hanamonogatari takes place after Araragi and Senjo Kohara graduate from Naoetsu Private High School. Very few familiar faces remain, the main one being that of Kanbara Suruga, who is the wielder of the monkey paw, or rather the rainy devil. One day, she starts to hear something about a mysterious devil, that will quote-unquote devil, that will magically fix anyone's problem, no matter how hard it is. Or, well, we hear that from someone familiar, I think. Is Ogi familiar? I really don't know. Ogi Oshino. Is she someone to care about entirely yet? I suppose we'll have to find out. The big thing here is that Ogi is wearing a boy's uniform. This is probably the biggest eyebrow raiser. Now, if you don't watch the series, by all means, watch the fucking series. Especially this season, because Ogi only shows up in this season. So, Ogi famously has worn a girl's uniform every single time you've seen her. Through the first time you see they in Kabuki Monogatari at the beginning. The following time in Onimonogatari, where she talks super endearingly to Araragi in the final moments, and every other scattered time. I think the other one is well, every time she showed up as of yet, it's oh my god, it's the one with Nadeko. It's it's that one, you know. where she talks super knowingly to Araragi in the final moments, and then every other scattered time. And since such as the one time she spoke to Nadeko before she became fucking god. So you can see my confusion. I am fucking confused. However, we are all about inclusivity, so a nigga can wear what a nigga wanna wear. The rumors about the devil. Kanbaru thinks they're about her and decides to investigate. So here we are, Sherlock Kanbaru, let's go. Finding out that there are 3 ways of finding the devil, or speaking to them. An easy way, a less easy way, and, the hard way, which involves actually meeting them in person. Kanbaru, being the queen that she is, decides to meet the devil for herself, like Lil Nas X in that. We're all very postmodern in this. Discovering that the devil is actually a former rival in basketball named Roka Numachi, who states openly that she is actually not the devil. She is simply a medium, or a counselor, if you will. She hears people out and she lets them sort it out for themselves. She states that she is unable to play basketball anymore due to a permanent leg injury, and was forced to permanently retire from basketball forever, indefinitely, for life. However many times I could say this bitch can't play no more. Through this, she finds a solace and a joy in hearing people's miseries, lying to people's faces and telling them straight up that she will sort it all out, and letting the problem fix itself, as a way of feeling better about her own problems. Even though there is quite literally nothing wrong with what's going on here, Kanbaru lashes out at her for lying to people's faces before leaving indefinitely, whilst at the same time feeling some kind of final relief that the devil isn't her. But, it's all a little bit different when Kanbaru takes off her bandages the next morning to find out that her rainy devil is no longer there anymore. She is no longer possessed by the monkey's paw. 3 whole years, maybe even 4 years of pain and just this hindrance is out. So what do you think happened? Because I know, but I'll let you guess what happened instead. Psych! Obviously, we have a full fucking basketball match. I'm talking High School Musical levels of basketball. I'm talking get your head in the game. I'm like literally 3 whole minutes, 180 seconds of just pure basketball match. It's hard, right? It goes so hard. Call me a bit controversial, but this wasn't my favourite part of the series. I know I enjoyed the narrative of Kanbaru, but it definitely lacked a lot of substance since the story was missing every character that gave it such a substance in the first place. Senjo Gahara isn't there, Nadeko not there, the sisters, Araragi actually shows up eventually in an actual fucking car. There was a lot of subtle things in here that gave me a lot of personal closure, such as Araragi finally growing up and giving people advice instead of paying for their problems to be fixed, or running face first into them with the hopes that his sacrifice will fix everything. Grown up decisions that get made in the series. Unfortunately, I couldn't take the narrative seriously because the character that it follows is fucking insufferable. Didn't I call her a queen earlier? Yes. And we're all hypocrites here. I think the biggest and most embarrassing reason that I didn't enjoy this arc as much as I enjoyed, say, Kabuki Monogatari from 2nd season, would be the fact that the OP was simply not as enjoyable as, say, any other Monogatari OP. Unfortunately, however, I had the same exact problem with her arc in Bakemonogatari, so there's no hard feelings, Nishi-Yosen. Well, all that out of the way, I'm gonna cut this out, cause, mum's calling me for tea, and you know how much us Brits love our tea. Tea and colonization, that's the motto. No black in Union Jack, that's what I say. Now that I finally stopped talking, what was your favourite part of the episode? Wow, you're a sick freak, but that's why we're friends. My favourite part of the show was where I honestly just couldn't stop talking about Kiss Shot's titties, bro, for real. What was that? I didn't actually talk anything about that. That was all in my head. Is that correct? Wow, fair enough. I mean, I'll let you think whatever you want to do, bro. Let's just move promptly on to my favorite segment, the waifu corner, which is slightly abysmal since we all know who's gonna win. Our candidates are. Let's keep it legal here, shall we? There it is, the legal waifu corner. Let's keep it PG here. Let's keep the FBI from knocking on our door. Goddamn. So, our candidates are Oninoki, the 100-year-old corpse from Onimonogatari. Then we have Kaiki from Koimonogatari. And then we have Kanbaru from Hanamonogatari. Didn't I say it was going to be legal? That I did, I believe. I don't care anymore. So, place your votes by texting the number on the screen now. Come on, send those votes in. Come, please. Okay, done. It's done. Stop texting your votes. Stop it. What did I say? I said stop texting the votes. The votes are in, and the winner is. It's Kaiki from Koimonogatari. Well, with all that out of the way, I had a pretty alright time. Don't forget to close the door on your way out, and don't leave that shit a crack open too, because I know how you forget to close the door sometimes. When I be saying close the door before you go downstairs, I know you be leaving it open just to piss me off, so don't. Okay? Good. And with that on, my name has been Weeaboo Jimothy McBobbert. And now, shit. Get the hell out of my corner.
Turning on the TV, nigga, just a
Bye.
data. Real life hoes just don't do it better. My girl bad in 2D, nigga, did I mention? So of course you'll never know her, cause she's in another dimension. And I'm never into stressing, cause I always got the plug, she's a spark electric. My baby on my lap, all top, pressing all the right buttons just to turn her on. Nigga, she a freak, full screen HD when she's up. Gotta turn the volume max, no fucks. All I hear is XD, nani. I'm so kawaii, raw only jam, beat this pussy up nightly. Because I'm always down to fight right now, I'ma throw hands down for my wife. My girl stacks fanboy theories, she got fine plot like a TV series. Titty got the jiggle like it's jello. She got a nigga flush saying hello. Can I get a feet pic? Trying to see the heel like Achilles. She blushed once, flashed me the goodies. Take me to the hood and I'll never hit the pull out. 9 months later, got them anime babies. Everybody acting all slick till I pull up with the anime bitch on my arm with the hips. 36, 24, 36. I'm jacking on the bunnies like tricks. Anime babes on my phone when I call, know exactly where they be. On the TV when I'm flicking through the trash, and I smile cause my main girl's chilling at the beach. Shawty looking flat like paper, she got them buns, she's the baker.